So I'm not out back, I'm in the real outback. I thought I'd come out on such a beautiful day. Didn't feel like being stuck under a tarp out there. So I thought I'd go down the woods and put my hammock up. So I brought a different type of hammock and I'll show you how I put it up and tell you all about it, if it's any interest. It really is such a beautiful summer's day. All the blossoms coming out, all the leaves are sprouting on the birch, and the skies are blue. This can't be the UK, can it? Just thought I'd show you the woods again. It's rather a pretty little wood, full of birch and oak, predominantly birch. Always makes me ponder when I see things like this. There's the trail, going that way, and down there, and just off the trail is this huge stone. No others, just this huge big thing. Is it ancestral? Is it a boundary stone? Doesn't look like a gate stone. It's in the right place to have meaning. And it certainly took some putting there if it was. Guess I'll never know. Unless you lot do. You'd have to know where I was then. Oh well. Keep pondering. Even dog's pondering. So we're down the woods. I've picked a little spot. I've checked up, made a little branch or two that might have fell off. Always check your trees before you put anything on them. Check for widow makers, it looks okay. The ground's not too bad. Your little friend's happy, she's sitting over there in the shade with a drink. Bags on tree. So I'm going to get the hammock gear out and show you how to do that. But another tip is when you've got your hammock up and you're used to it, our position, take your foot to the tree stump that you're going to be putting your huggers around and walk your paces 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to your next tree. And that's about right for me, as I'll show you. So I brought my old hammock with me, one of the first ones I bought, a Team U Amazon special. I'm sure we've all bought them at some point. If you haven't, good luck to you, don't buy a proper one. But they're not bad, I'll show you why I brought it. These tend to not come with proper tree huggers. They might do now, they didn't at the time. They tend to come with strapping, like these, which is fine if you know how to use it. Just tie a loop end in it, take it round the tree, put it through, and that's your piece round the tree. And then you've got to find an end to this where you think is going to be the right height and drop a loop in it. And that's going to tighten up when you put the carabiners on the hammock into it. So you're going to always have to play around undoing these knots, moving them up and down, getting your hammock lay where you want it. As I said, they'll work, but they're not really that good. They do work, but for the price of a pair of the other type, you'd be far better off either getting the hammock if you buy one with them, or investing in a pair, because it's not worth the aggro and the hassle, because your trees are always at different distances, so putting your knots in there, you're going to always have to move them. Whereas the daisy chain, as you've already seen on the other hammock videos, you've got all that adjustment, and it makes life much easier. So I'll put them up and show you how to do them. Not rocket science. So, you simply get your daisy chain tree hugger, take her around the tree with a little loop and drop the other end through and pull her right through, and that then will go wherever you want it and hug the tree. What you might find though on a small tree like this is you're nowhere near where you want the daisy chain part, so you might simply just go around again, drop her back through that loop and pull her through, and you're higher in the daisy chain. You want to make sure that you're lining this part up with where you're going to be hanging the other one, so you're not off centre, and if you're still too low down, you can just simply go back round again and drop it back through that loop again, hiring it up all the time and keeping that in line with your other tree. So you've got where you think you want to be hanging. You'll get used to that. You can always go again if it takes the first piece of the daisy loop out of the chain by going around again. You've still got all that to play with. And that's how you put the tree hugger up. You do the same on the other one, facing each other, and then we'll see. So now we've got them both up, one on that tree, spinning round, and one on that tree. Done exactly the same. Now we just simply click the hammock into it. So these cheaper hammocks tend to fold up into their own pockets, so there's no quite easy way of doing them, like the others with sleeves and everything else. They come with reasonable carabiners, they're on knotted cord, and they've got a sewn on bug net, single zip on one side, double opening, which is, they can do double openings on these one wind, take the hint. Anyhow, that just simply then flips in wherever you think it's going to be, maybe there, maybe higher, and then we just run the hammock out to the other side. So I'll be off screen, but you'll get the idea. Obviously that's way too high, so I'm going to let her down to 1, 2, 3, the fourth one up, and then I'll be off screen again while I just alter the other side. That was on the bottom one. That's looking about right. Not that you can see much yet. And there you go. She's hanging up. Simple as that. If you want it hanging higher one end or the other, you just alter the daisy chain, drop one up, drop one down, and you've got your height about right again from the floor. Remember what I said about the other hammock videos about the height for your knees and sitting. All the same principles apply. So that's that up. So this particular hammock, I've put ridge lines on the bug netting. With little carabiners and paracord. And again, these can just then go out, fasten up to the daisy chain, wherever you think they're going to be. That's the pocket you roll it all back up into, becomes the only pocket you've got on the outside of it. And again on this end, another carabiner. And just take it up again somewhere on the daisy chain. As such. And that allows the bug net to be kept off you. I've put them on prussets on a little bit of elastic so they'll stretch when you get in, so you're not going to be snapping them. And it's a double zip. You can do both ways, and you've got your hammock. It looks a little low to me. I think it's going to need hiring. Probably this end. I'll try it there. And we'll see how that goes. Now this is where I could make a lot of money when it all goes wrong. And it collapses, and I fall bum my bum. Oh damn! It didn't. So there you go. It's as simple as that. You've got your bug net. If your cordage is too tight, that one is. You can just move it down, or slide the prussets up. That'll slacken it off a bit. And you're pretty much in the hammock. They're not as wide as the one winged or the DD. They're still a hammock. They're still quite comfy. They're still quite sturdy, quite strong. And for what they cost, I'm sure you've seen the prices on them. You can't go wrong if you just want a bit of fun and learn and practice. But there are things wrong with it. One of the main things is there's no ridge line inside of the bug net. So you cannot put bags in, and there is no way of getting through the bug net without making a hole in the ends to run a ridge line through it. So that's one of the downers. So you've only got this pocket on the outside to put your drink, your phone and all that kind of thing. And other than that, they're not quite as long. I won't get totally because I've got my boots on yet. But they're not quite as long, not quite as wide. But they do what they do. I've got a fly that's actually coming already. What's the point of the bug net? But for a hot sunny day, chilling in the woods, it's going to do me just fine. The other thing that I've just remembered they haven't got is attachments anywhere to take an underquilt. Hopefully you can see that, that's just plain zip all the way. So if I want to put my underquilt on there, I'm very hard pressed to do it because there's nothing to attach it to. So they won't take a underquilt. You're going to have to rely on whatever you put in the hammock to keep you warm. They have got a little mesh pocket, I've just noticed there, so you can put your phone in there at least. And they are double zipped. So, and they're not bad for what they are. They're not heavy. There are lighter weight ones out there that other companies do that are better quality hammocks that will take an underquilt. You can get an underquilt to go on, but keeping it separated on there when you're lying in it, it's going to be an awful trouble. So they are what they are, and that's why they're the price they are. So my advice, look into it and buy a decent one. Got a DD, One Wind, there's a few other good hammock makers out there. And don't fall foul of the price promises. Hope that was of interest. So I'm going to get in and have a nice little chill out now. I've got some sandwiches, nice bottle of cold drink because it's like summer, bag of snacks, which I have hung up on the outside so they are reachable, but I'm a little inflatable pillow. So I shall get in and chill out in the woods on a beautiful day. What can be more pleasurable? So I thought I'd just give you a view from the inside, all zipped in the bug net. Shoes off, always take your shoes off in a hammock, have some respect. And my view for the afternoon through the bug net is the wonderful woods. Listening to the birds, eating my lunch and swinging in the trees. Sort of takes you back a few million years, doesn't it? Have fun. Don't forget, if you like it, thumbs up, subscribe, all the usual rubbish. See you soon. And as normal, always leave it as you find it, or better. That goes for everyone out there.